Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Harrison Central. Today is October 6th, and I am Lizzie with your morning news. There are a few announcements today. Attention 8th graders, your t-shirt fundraiser orders are due Wednesday, October 12th. Please return both your order form and money into Miss Taylor. Wrestler and MatStat signups will be tomorrow at 8:05 a.m. in Mr. Gossett's room across from the wrestling room. Grades 9 through 12 will meet with Coach Bryant. Grades 7 through 8 will meet with Coach Case. MatStat 7 through 12 will meet with Miss Bittinger. If you can't make this meeting, please stop and see Coach Bryant during your lunch period. Students in grades 10 through 12 who are interested in taking the ASVAB need to sign up in the school counseling Google Classroom. You do not have to plan to enlist in the military to take the ASVAB. It is a career exploration tool as well. See Ms. Doran for questions. There will be academic challenge practice after school today until 3:30. Any high school student who wants to help with bus safety activities, please see either Sergeant Brooks or Sergeant Velasco sometime this week. The following colleges will be in the cafeteria during high school lunches. Wednesday, October 12th, Ohio University Eastern. Tuesday, October 25th, Youngstown State University. Thursday, November 3rd, West Liberty University. Now let's send it to Drake for the weather forecast.
Thank you, Lizzie. Let's take a look at today's weather forecast. We're going to see a high of 68 degrees today, a low of 44. Right now, 9:30, it's about 51 degrees with clouds over the area. We see a slight northern breeze, and that's a look at today's weather forecast. Now let's go to Maddie.
For lunch today, the cafeteria is serving pizza, garden salad, fresh baby carrots, and tropical pineapple tidbits. Now let's send it to Cheyenne with this week's mental health focus.
The mental health focus for October is Passion First. Passion First is a mindset used to help us push aside limiting beliefs and help us grow through life by taking our knowledge of past experiences and applying it to our lives now. To start off this month's mindset, our quote of the week is there are two primary choices in life: to accept conditions as they exist or accept the responsibility for changing them.
Thanks, Cheyenne. I'm here with Sandy Thompson from the Puss Carriage Public Library, here to talk about the local Harrison County Cemetery walks. So if you can give us a little background on the cemetery walks.
Sure. These started 16 years ago, and we were at a Harrison County Historical Society board meeting, and Dr. Pendleton was giving us a couple stories about some of the people who had passed away in Harrison County and are buried here. And I said, boy, wouldn't it be great to share those somehow? And the idea for the cemetery walks was born.
Right. How many years have you been putting on the walks now?
We've been doing them for 16 years, and we go to different cemeteries all throughout the county. I mean, we've been to Freeport, Moorfield, New Rumley, Jewett, Scioto, just about every community, but there are still a few left. So we're getting there.
Yeah. What can a person like me expect if I were to attend one of the cemetery walks?
Well, most of the time, we've been really fortunate and it's been great weather, but sometimes it's been a little rainy, so you need to dress for the weather, definitely. And a lot of folks bring a lantern. And if you don't have a lantern, because it's really cool when you look in the cemetery and all these people have their lanterns and everything. But if you don't, just bring a flashlight, because we usually start them around 6. And we always try to plan it around the full moon in October, so it's a little brighter naturally, but sometimes it's cloudy or whatever too. So always bring a flashlight and be prepared to walk in the dark by the time that it ends, because usually around 7 or so, it starts to get dark, and you're out actually walking in the cemetery, so you got to be aware of all the little things around you.
Yeah. Which has been your favorite cemetery to attend over the years?
My favorite, I really enjoyed the Jewett Cemetery tour. It's a great place because sometimes the cemeteries don't have a lot of parking, and we'll usually have over 100 people for these tours. But Jewett had a lot of parking because there's a lot of openness around the cemetery. And one of the individuals who they featured was a relative of mine who was a World War I nurse overseas. And at that time, very few nurses went overseas, and she served over there during the conflict.
What's another one of your favorite stories that you've heard throughout the year?
My favorite story actually came from the Conotton Cemetery, and it involved, his name was David Macbeth. He was a Union soldier who was captured during the Battle of Jonesboro, I believe, and was sent to Andersonville Prison. And he was released, but a lot of the people that were in the prison there, they actually died of starvation. You know, the South didn't even have enough food to feed their troops, let alone their prisoners. So 30% of the 45,000 prisoners in Andersonville actually died. Wow. Yeah. So when this fellow was released, it took him a really long time to get back to his home on Beaver Dam Road. And so, because of the condition that he was in when he was released, when he got back to Beaver Dam Road, he passed the Baptist church. Church was packed, and he was like, "Oh, I just want to get home," you know. Mm-hmm. So he kept going to his house, and no one was at his house. So he went back to the church where he found they were actually celebrating his life. It was his funeral that was at the church when he walked by. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites. But there's a lot of great stories. So every time we have one of these tours.
What kind of significance do you think these cemetery walks have on the community?
I think it's a great way to preserve the history that we have here in Harrison County. Our county was very, very important, had a lot of great historical figures throughout time, especially with the Civil War, and they all have stories to tell. And I'm telling you, when Doc Pendleton puts together a story, I really told that story about the soldier very poorly compared to his storytelling style. So, and if any of you have been to one of those, you understand that. That same story would take him 5 minutes to tell because he'll give you all of the extra information too. But yeah.
I thought you did great, by the way, telling the story. Which cemetery are you guys at this year?
This year we're at Germano Cemetery, and it should be really interesting too. We're still working on the stories. The library pretty much helps with some of the research, and Dr. Pendleton puts together a lot of the stories then from that research. And so it's a nice partnership between the Historical Society and the Puss Carriage Public Library.
And for those of us who are interested in going to one of these events, what are the dates and times that you guys are holding the walks?
Yeah, this one comes up on October 12th at 6 o'clock. Yeah, don't forget to bring your flashlight.
And lantern.
Yeah, or lantern if you've got one of those old-time fashioned lanterns.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested in attending one of the cemetery walks like I am, please visit the website below for more information. Now let's send it back to the studio. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
That concludes today's news. And as always, go Huskies.